19th of March 2022. Two wrestlers, two partners, two sisters stand opposite each other. No matter what happens today, this will be the first and only time the two face each other. After this match, one of their careers will be over. December 12, 2015, three brand new wrestlers are introduced to the budding wrestling promotion, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Two are allowed to present their skills in an exhibition match. The much taller wrestler is easily able to overpower and take down her opponent, leaving the much shorter one's attempts to fight back be pointless, eventually being forced to tap out. Tetsuya Kodo comes out into the ring to introduce the three girls, that will be making their official wrestling debut at the first Tokyo Joshi show, taking place at Kurikan Hall. The first is Marika Kobayashi, then Yu, and finally Nodoka Onesan. Nodoka Onesan makes her official debut in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. She makes her way to the ring in a bright yellow apron-esque outfit adorned with a white bunny and red trim, complete with a matching hat with a big yellow pom-pom. After introducing herself, she begins the Pin Pon Pan Dance, a song all about a masked wrestler whose tights keep falling down, revealing his underpants. Her opponent is introduced and the match starts. Despite a suplex at the start of the match, Yu is able to keep control with her experience in judo. And even if that wasn't the case, her size and strength are too much for Nodoka to overcome. Nodoka tapping out to Yu as she did before during their exhibition match. The outfit and persona of Nodoka Onesan is to emulate the style and personality of children's television presenters. With a bright, cheery attitude and catchy dance and song, the goal was try to attract a younger audience to come and watch Tokyo Joshi shows. It never really happened though. Without the support of young children to help cheer their Onesan on, Nodoka is fated to lose week after week. She does sporadically pick up singles wins, but this is only against her juniors. She is unable to win against the more senior members of the roster, and she is never able to get the best of her gen mate Yu. Even when the two tag team together under the name Brave Mates, she is unable to make progress, letting down her tag partner Yu. Nodoka squandering all opportunities when the two try to win the Princess Tag titles. Going back to the start of 2016, another big event happens. Before Nodoka Onesan officially debuted, Tokyo Joshi presented 4 more trainees that will be undergoing training to become wrestlers. But out of the 4 that would undergo training, only 1 is able to debut, and it's Maho Korone, goth zombie icon. The others not being able to continue in Tokyo Joshi for one reason or another. However, 1 year later, one of those original trainees does appear again, but not as a wrestler. Yuki Aino was unable to balance the intense training needed to become a wrestler with her school studies, but still wanted to be involved with Tokyo Joshi in some way, and so she takes up duties as Tokyo Joshi's latest ring announcer, presenting shows, introducing matches, and dancing alongside her sister Nodoka. Yes, Yuki Aino is the real-life sister of Nodoka Onesan. Through 2017 until May 2018, Yuki Aino continues on as Tokyo Joshi's ring announcer until she decides to cease her responsibilities. But she has become good friends with the rest of the roster and has also changed schools in order to better balance her education and training. So, Yuki is able to officially debut as a wrestler alongside her sister. Making their entrance with Yuki's new theme Burning, sung by Yuki herself, with lyrics written by her sister. Yu focuses on isolating Yuki for as long as possible, and cockily points out to Nodoka how alike the sisters are as she overwhelms Yuki. But a burst of strength from Yuki allows her to get enough distance from her opponents to tag in Nodoka. Yu may be a formidable opponent for the two sisters, but when working together, the two are able to level the playing field. But this is a tag match, not a handicap match. With Yu left alone with Yuki, she is overpowered quickly, despite a second wind that catches Yu off guard. The start of a wrestler's journey always has a tough start, so a loss is to be expected. However, even though she is teaming with her sister, Nodoka and Yuki have a hard time getting much success. Nodoka never had the best win-loss record. In fact, it is one of the worst in the company, and now needing to help out her rookie sister is a tall order. And Nodoka is not that big. Nodoka needing to step up as a wrestler and a big sister. She was meant to bring in a younger audience, to bring cheer and joy to all the young fans, but she hasn't done either. Even though she has fans cheering for her, because of her self-doubt, she is unable to harness fan support, and it shows in her win-loss record. These feelings bottling up inside her as she competes into her 3rd Princess Cup tournament. But then something strange happens. Nodoka starts winning. She beats veteran wrestler Yuna Manase, and then the ace of Tokyo Joshi, Miyu Yamashita. Making it to the semi-finals, it comes to a shock to everyone, including Nodoka. But if all these challenges before were difficult, the next one will be impossible. Nodoka's opponent to make it to the finals is someone who has beaten her time after time. As the lights dim, Yu's theme plays. Yu has already won the Princess Cup once, becoming the Princess of Princess Champion because of it, and intends to do the same again to beat the ace Miyu Yamashita to regain the championship. Nodoka does her best to stand up to Yu, trying to equal the power that Yu is known to throw around, and when knocked down is quick to get back up and continue the offense, eventually getting the upper hand, but expending so much energy just to keep up with Yu begins to backfire, as Nodoka exhausts herself and takes hard strikes from Yu in order to remain competitive in the match. For a moment it looks like Nodoka could win, beat Yu for the first time. With adrenaline surging, Nodoka impressively manhandles Yu, like she had been so many times in their previous matches. But while she may be able to counter Yu's moves, it exhausts her to do so, allowing Yu to keep trying to set up a finishing sequence. Yu has Nodoka in a chokehold, and waits for Nodoka to tap out. But she doesn't. This is as far as Nodoka has gotten in the Princess Cup. It may be the furthest she will ever get. She wants to let this last for as long as possible, as she falls unconscious from Yu's submission. The ref signaling for the bell to be rung at his discretion. Nodoka has failed to beat Yu. Even though so much was on the line for her, she couldn't get the job done. After this match, she has made up her mind. Nodoka Onesan will be no more. While not as dramatic as I first made it sound, the gimmick of Nodoka Onesan will be no more. Nodoka will still be wrestling in the promotion, but with a new costume and character. Her reasoning being that, 1, her role at Tokyo Joshi was trying to get a young audience interested in the promotion. Obviously, that hasn't happened. And while Onesan does have people cheering them on, she can't capitalise it, as she has self-doubt of if she even deserves it, or that she failed to do what the company required of her. So, to get new confidence and give a reason for the crowd to cheer for her earnestly, she will become a whole new Nodoka. In her own words, her Season 2 is about to start. The final send-off for Nodoka Onesan is the Pin-Pon Pan Dance, which all of Tokyo Joshi's wrestlers and some of DDT's officials participate in. At Brand New Wrestling 2, Nodoka Tenma introduces her new look and new theme. Teaming with her sister, she wins with her brand new finishing move, the Kill Switch, making a promising start to what she describes as her second season. Teaming regularly with her sister Yuki, Nodoka and Yuki make it official with their tag team, the Bakeretsu sisters. Nodoka and Yuki's ambitions grow along with their confidence, Yuki Aino being able to get her first win alongside her sister. Not only do the two challenge for the Princess Tag Championship, but each of them also try their hand at the Princess of Princess Championship as well. Unfortunately, they are unsuccessful in their attempts, losing to the magical Sugar Rabbits, Neo Biishiki-gun, and then to Daydream at the start of 2020. 2020 also marks the announcement of Tokyo Joshi's biggest ever show, Wrestle Princess, where all titles will be defended on the largest stage to date. The Bakeretsu sisters winning a #1 contenders match to be able to challenge for the belts. Unfortunately, the win was hollow, as the scheduled match had to be changed as Kamiyu was injured and had to be subbed out with the less experienced Pom Harajuku. Their opponent's Daydream had already beaten them before at the start of the year, but Yuki is confident that the two have grown strong enough to finally win the tag titles. Nodoka and Miyu square off in the beginning. Miyu Watanabe has taken to strength training incredibly well, making her surprise bursts of power a concern for the Bakeretsu sisters. The two attempt to isolate Miyu, but Rika is there to separate the two sisters and follow up with a team move of her own. With the Daydream in control, they focus on dismantling the easiest target of the Bakeretsu sisters. Rika concentrating her attacks on Yuki's legs, with Miyu following suit. Yuki had been the one that Daydream had pinned before at the start of the year, so she is the most likely to crack first. Yuki is able to fight her way free and tag to Nodoka, who begins to level the playing field. But the Bakeretsu sisters have had time finding an answer for Miyu's freakish strength or Rika's hips. Only when working together are they able to stand a chance. But Daydream are always there to help one another out of pin attempts. When Rika reverses Yuki's submission into a Dragon Sleeper, things look bleak. Nodoka tries to save her and the match, but is intercepted by Miyu, who applies a backbreaker. Yuki, holding on for as long as she can, as Nodoka struggles free and fights off Miyu and Rika. Yuki, inspired by her sister, is able to fend off a Dragon Twist of Fate and counter a hip attack. Both wrestlers spent, they reach for their corner to tag in their partner. But while Rika can tag in Miyu, Yuki's corner is empty. Nodoka had to leave to save Yuki from Daydream earlier, and now she has no one to turn to, and is left to the mercy of a fresh Miyu. Doing everything she can to avoid the teardrop, which would signal defeat. While she can't be tagged in, Nodoka attempts to turn the tables, taking on both of Daydream, before rallying her sister that she can win, and they can do it together. They get Miyu up for a Bakeretsu Bulldog, but the final stretch Yuki has to do alone, to make up for all those past defeats, hitting Miyu with the UBV. Yuki Aino is able to pin Miyu to win the Princess Tag Championships for her sister. Yuki had always been the weak link in the Bakeretsu sisters, taking the pin each time the two went for the tag titles. Hopefully now she has redeemed herself, as the two sisters share this moment and hold the tag titles above their heads. It was a long, arduous journey that had uncertainty, but Nodoka and Yuki are finally champions together. With their new titles, the Bakeretsu sisters go on to defend them a number of times, against International Princess Champion Yuki Kamifuku and her university compatriot Mahiro Kiryu, and then against two superpowered wrestlers, Hyper Misao and Shin Ultra Shoko. Even being able to defeat what is thought to be the best tag team Tokyo Joshi has ever produced, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, during the Max Heart tournament. Unfortunately, the Bakeretsu sisters lose the tournament in the second round, with the winners of the tournament being able to challenge for the tag titles at the next Korakuen Hall show. The winners of that right would be a team that had been absent from Tokyo Joshi for a long while indeed. Neo Biishiki-gun have returned. After being unable to visit Japan due to the global pandemic for all of 2020, Saki-sama was left in France, plotting. She spent her days practicing her flute in the woods until she was able to bewitch a young girl. Saki-sama had her trained by Martha to be a maid, and upon her return to Japan, unveils her latest member of Neo Biishiki-gun, May St. Michel. Upon winning the tournament, May St. Michel is overjoyed that she has something to share with Saki-sama. Saki-sama, who is usually not impressed by trophies, as her French mansion is already filled with awards, replies that if these trophies please May-san, then she knows of one other prize that she can share with May-san. She calls out to the Bakeretsu sisters and offers to buy the titles off of them, but the Bakeretsu sisters replied that they are not for sale. The Bakeretsu sisters had already held resentment for Neo Biishiki-gun. They had lost to them before, when they went for the tag titles, and Saki-sama had always been quick to make fun of the two sisters, saying that a full course of despair is prepared for the two who enjoy to eat. But now they are stronger and can beat Saki-sama and whatever maid help she brings from France. The match is set for the still incomplete show. The Bakeretsu sisters were unable to beat Biishiki-gun the last time they fought, but now they feel they are strong enough to defeat them and avenge their previous losses. After all, they are the tag champions. But this isn't the same Biishiki-gun they faced before, and while May St. Michel gives off the demeanour of a naive maid, she is sadistic and cunning. Taking inspiration from Saki-sama, the two begin to cheat to gain the upper hand on the Bakeretsu sisters. Saki-sama must have told May-san of Biishiki-gun's last victory against the Bakeretsu sisters by beating Yuki, as the two focus on isolating Yuki, but their arrogance grows too much as they attempt their underhanded tactics, the referee confronting Saki-sama as she goes to hit Yuki with a rose, giving Yuki enough time to tag in Nodoka and turn the tables. But May-san is used to serving tables, and as the ref was distracted, he did not confirm the tag, leaving Yuki as the legal wrestler and giving Biishiki-gun the opportunity to carry out their heinous tricks. Yuki able to stop Biishiki-gun's momentum with a desperate counter and tags in her angered sister. Nodoka is able to dispose of May-san, but the size disadvantage rears its head when facing Saki-sama, who uses her long legs to halt any offense from Nodoka by keeping her at distance. But using a burst of speed, she overpowers Saki-sama, and together the Bakeretsu sisters work together to show that blood is thicker than rose water. The sisters go for a Bakeretsu Bulldog, but by taking too long, May-san is able to stop the move and Biishiki-gun begin their counter-offense. When Yuki impressively side suplexes Saki-sama to regain control, Saki-sama immediately gets up and floors her. Nodoka and May-san are both tagged in, and the little goblin attempts to win with a variety of quick counters and roll-ups trying to submit Nodoka. When Yuki comes in to break it up, Saki-sama boots her away, and sets up to end the match with May-san. Nodoka summons the remainder of her strength to catch May-san, and then with her sister, double fall-away slams May-san out of the equation. and when Saki-sama attempts to hit Yuki with a PK on the apron, she catches her, allowing for the Bakeretsu Bulldog to the outside. This is their chance. Saki-sama is down and Mei-san is desperate. She attempts to hit Nodoka with her silver platter, Nodoka sacrificing her right hand to neutralize it. She goes for the kill switch, but Mei-san does everything she can to counter it and catch Nodoka in a roll-up. Nodoka hits it and goes for the cover. But before she even knows what's happened, Mei-san quickly reverses the pin and holds Nodoka down. The Bakeretsu sisters did everything right, but Biishiki-gun beat them once more. The two help each other to the back, as Biishiki-gun begin their new reign of terror. After the loss, the Bakeretsu sisters continue teaming together. Despite having lost the tag titles, they do very well, able to win the majority of their matches. However, Nodoka announces shocking news by the end of 2021. Nodoka plans to retire from wrestling. Ever since her family started growing vegetables as a hobby, she has developed a love of agriculture. The Bakeretsu sisters had their own brand of rice that they would sell at shows, so going full farmer is not out of nowhere. Before Nodoka's retirement, she wants to make the most of her few remaining months in wrestling. She brings back her Renaissance gimmick one more time at the New Year's show. The Bakeretsu sisters enter and reach the finals of the Max Heart tournament. Nodoka faces off against Marika Kobashi, who debuted the same time that Nodoka did, and also planned to graduate from Tokyo Joshi as well. And the Bakeretsu sisters also face the tag team champions, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, one last time. But there is one milestone that Nodoka has not yet reached. One that she would regret if she did not take the opportunity. Nodoka wants to face Yuki in a singles match. Yuki had always rejected the idea of a singles match if it was brought up, but Nodoka is insistent the match go ahead, and for it to take place at Tokyo Joshi's biggest show, Grand Princess. Yuki finally agreeing to be her sister's last singles opponent before she retires. And so, that leads us to where we started. While it may have seemed that this would be a blood feud, two sisters fighting to see who is better at their craft, or a match that would finish in a career-ending injury, instead, it is two sisters that love each other very much and couldn't imagine facing anyone else for this grand event. The two make their entrance not separately but together. They are the Bakeretsu sisters, and even as opponents in a singles match, they want to share this moment together. With a cover of their tag team theme Bakeretsu Power by Angela, who made many anime OPs these sisters were fans of, savouring the song before the match starts. But now it comes down to the match itself. Despite the goodwill going into the match, the two sisters know that it is only right for each other to go all out. Nodoka not wanting to end her career on a loss, and Yuki wanting to beat her sister so she can step out of her shadow and carve her own path. Yuki pins Nodoka, beating her sister and stepping out of her shadow. She can now say with pride that she is Yuki Aino, and not just Nodoka's sister. The two embrace as their theme plays. Nodoka has gone on to become a farmer like she promised, with the rest of Tokyo Joshi visiting her on occasion. And in December of 2022, she married fellow pro wrestler Ryuichi Sekini. Yuki has remained in the company, carrying on where her sister left off, adopting a more senior role and picking up traits from her sister, cutting her hair shorter to signify a great change in her life, and teaming with younger talent, to guide them on their wrestling journey the same way her big sister did. Despite Nodoka no longer wrestling, and being so far apart as Yuki travels to wrestle while Nodoka stays on her farm, the two will eternally be the Bakeretsu sisters. Thank you so much for watching, and also thank you for all the nice comments and feedback you've been leaving over the past couple videos, and thank you for helping the channel to regrow. The Bakeretsu sisters, I've been meaning to do a video on them for so long, but I needed to find a nice end point for the video. Unfortunately, it had to be with Nodoka's retirement, which isn't really what I wanted to do, but I'm happy that she's doing well. And can we talk about the glow-up between Nodoka Onesan and Nodoka Tenma? Like, can we see that? Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.